recording. Okay. I was having some issues starting it at first. I didn't think it was going to. I'm just getting my charging wire. My cell phone charger. This one's one. And the wire I need is right here. There we go. Okay. This has been a video I've been wanting to make for months, and then whenever I got the idea to kind of like just do it, start it, I end up not wanting to, or I just end up not feeling like it's the right time. And I think now that I'm after like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I can make it. So essentially, I feel a lot of different things for a lot of different reasons. I feel sad, I feel mad, I feel disappointed. I feel like I should feel empty, but I think there was already a time where I did feel empty. So I think a lot of it's just like sadness. My sister has been gone for a year today. September 28th, 2020 is when she left. I'm thankful for the way she did go, which may sound weird, but I mean, not everyone is lucky enough to like pass in their sleep and not feel anything. So when you have someone suffering, you can just, I'm getting teary-eyed. You can have peace of mind that they're not hurting after that. And what I have in my hand here is a necklace that she would make with like butterfly wings. But yeah, my sister turned 40 January 27th, so she is just about to get 40. Didn't quite get there with the way her journey went. She had colon cancer. She fought for 2 years. She was clear for like a little bit. And then I think it was within a couple months after, it just kind of like came back. She didn't really get to stay in remission for very long. So it's just tricky because she has 3 kids. They're legally adults now, but I just often think like, wow, for me being in my like late 20s, I'm pretty lucky to still have both my parents around. Because if I was their age and lost a parent, I honestly don't know how I would function. But they still have a parent, so I can only hope that things are okay on that end of it. But she also had a fiance, and her fiance promised to stay and like take care of the kids still, look after them, hang out with them. So in a way, it's almost like they have 2 dads in a sense. I don't know if they would see him as like a father figure at all, but it's kind of like a bonus guardian in a way. Someone sent flowers in my sister's name today. We just got them a bit ago here at the house. And I'm thinking it was either my sister that did it, my sister Lauren, or her fiance, and I'm not entirely sure. Because Jessie has a certain way that she wanted her name to be spelled with EY and not IE, and someone knew to put her name EY on the card, and there's no name on it, so it's almost like it's anonymous. So the time I'm filming this, we don't know who it is, but I'm thinking it's either one of them. So You're probably thinking, like, why are you mad? Why are you disappointed? It's more so the way her whole trial went down. She was part of a trial to like, have her take the certain medicines and stuff and treatments, and just had a few men in her life in general that broke her heart. And the doctor that was like supposed to be looking after her was one of those men. He just kind of left her high and dry, and I still kind of question to this day if things were to work out differently, if maybe she was off the trial sooner, or if she was given something else, if things could be different. But I try not to let my mind go there, because I don't want to like upset myself more and dwell too much. And I already cried a lot today, so I don't know if I'm going to get teary-eyed while I'm doing this, but that's why I actually watched one of the shows that feels like really nostalgic to me today, to kind of distract my mind. What more so gets me really upset is to just think about how last year went on this day. I went up and hugged everybody. I had to say like, sorry for your loss, even though it's everybody's loss right now. And her fiance, that alone could have been like a love story, like the way my sister and my sister's fiance met. It was even online during a game, actually. He uprooted his life in Minnesota to come here. He lives in New Jersey, and that's how it has been, but he lived in New Jersey. We're in PA, so he still comes from New Jersey to come to PA, since it's like a state over. But anyway, it's just so many things that she didn't deserve. And she deserved a better life. She deserved to be able to stay in New Jersey full time. Deserved to see her kids get older. Her and I had a 12-year age gap, so I feel like a good portion of the time there she was closer to her kids than with me, but it's kind of my own fault too, because I kind of let us drift. We were still close, but not like the way that Lauren and Jess were close, because they're only 6 years in between. And for a period of time, when they would go on beach trips and stuff, there wasn't enough room for me to go. So it would be the 3 kids and those 2. And they would always go on beach trips and stuff. They always had similar music taste, movie taste. I like certain horror movies, but they could just watch the grossest, like, gnarliest shit. And they would, like, be so thrilled by it. They liked any kind of, like, horror movie. If it's a bad one, that's like, it would be even better for them. They liked watching bad, shitty movies. I guess it's kind of like they're so bad they're good. Jess was really creative. She used to draw, make stuff like this. She liked doing crafty stuff, which I think might even be why her daughter was kind of doing the same thing. They're all talented, and all the kids are talented. Sorry if my thoughts are like really jumbled. I'm kind of trying to explain how my sister was for no one that's like watched me before, and they don't get anything about my sister. I always thought the 3 of us were like a unit, so when you're down a sister, it just is like, it's a void. It's a void you can't really complete and fulfill. You can't replace it. And since her passing, I kind of starting to be a little more spiritual with things. When she was in hospice, we got crystals for her because we wanted to try like crystal healing, and we got someone's like opinion there of what all we should get for her for someone with her situation. We got all the specific stones and crystals that we needed, and we let them charge. And then I started to collect a couple crystals recently. But yeah, we all have like certain interests with tarot readings and practicing of stuff. I've always been intrigued by stuff like that. I just never really put much effort into it. I don't own like a tarot deck or do any certain things like my sister Lauren does. Like, she's really into stuff, but she won't put a label on herself. I guess it's just learning, being interested in learning. But the only thing I can say on the spiritual front so far for myself when it comes to all this, and that it happened after Just Passed, was that I see 444 almost every day. She said one of her signs that we know she's visiting, if you believe in any of that, is butterflies and pennies. Butterflies I see pretty often. I see cardinals from time to time, which is kind of like of a more rare sighting for me. But the cardinals are supposed to be a sign of someone that passed on is watching you. Stuff like that. So it's just kind of like signs I see. The 444 thing happens almost every day. It happened a bit ago. It's 5:13 now, but as soon as I got in, I was checking the mail. I stopped and looked at the stove and it said 444. Or there's times I click on a video, the timing of it is 444. In currencies online, if I have like coins or whatever, it'll say 444. A couple of times now I've seen 444 on a license plate, so I'm just at the point where I feel like that's not even a coincidence anymore. That I feel like it's for sure a sign, or that someone, even if it's not her, it's trying to be like, hey, I'm here. Because I've had a couple of cousins that passed away, grandparents on my mom's side, and a couple on my dad's side. Like, there's other people that passed, not just Jessie. She's one of the most recent ones, and I think shortly after her, my aunt's husband passed away, so my uncle. And he had like throat cancer, I think it was. But yeah, even though I could have been closer, I'm still grateful I was able to say bye to her when I got to, because she was in hospice for 2 weeks, and I don't really think that's quite normal. But they say that moms hold on longer. It's like they have more to live for, and they're like trying to still hang in there for their kids. That might be why. Or she's just like, I'm doing things on my terms if I'm gonna be here. So she was really strong. She was strong in multiple ways. I'm grateful it went the way it did in there. There were some days she would be really good with things and she would text us, and some days it was different. But it was like, the way we described it was like the best, worst time. Pretty much. Her battle was like non-stop. I don't have like tears right now. I just feel like something out of my eye. Just trying to clarify, you would know if I'm crying. I don't like it when people fake cry. I'm not doing that. Either I feel tears or I don't, because I already cried a lot today. I have no reason to lie about that. I keep trying to think of what I'm gonna say and then I lose track. And she had a lot of visitors during that time in hospice. There was, what I was going to say was there was there was a time period where we were told she only had 24 hours to live. That ended up being far from true because she lasted 2 weeks. But I kind of rested my head on her and I said, I'm sorry. Or did I say I'm sorry? I don't think I had anything to apologize for. But I think I said, thank you for everything, and just pouring my heart out to her even though I still had more time. And she called me silly and I rested my head. And at one point I said I would miss you, and she said she would miss me too. I think that's kind of what fucks me up the most. Because she knew. I already know my classes are gonna get a little fucked up. She knew where she was going. She knew what she was doing. She had the chance to back out of hospice and she didn't. So she knew. She was I'm not gonna fight anymore. There's no point. I can't begin to imagine how any kind of cancer is, and one that wants to keep coming back no matter what you do, no matter how many surgeries you have. So I couldn't be mad at her, and I'm still not. If anything, I'm mad about how her doctor vanished on her, and how because things weren't working, she was kicked off a trial. There's just so many ways I could go about this. So sorry if my thoughts are really scatterbrained. But I don't think anyone deserves any kind of cancer. And I really fucking hate when people lie about it too. Because there's people that lie about really fucked up things happening to them and having things that they don't have. No, it's just disheartening. And even a year later, I still feel is this even still real? Her apartment is completely different than how it was left behind because there was a lot of work into it. My sister's gonna live there. And it just makes me sad how nothing really went the way she would have wanted it to. She wanted my parents and Jason to be the guardians of the kids. That didn't really get to happen. It's just a lot of stuff. And even if I wasn't the closest with her, I still kind of wish she could still be around. Anyway, just to keep everyone else happy and sane. Just being able to see her at work and we would wave to each other, hearing her go up the steps with the kids, hearing her laugh, seeing her little mannerisms. She would go like this when she would get all excited. Her laugh was contagious. She had a really cute giggle. She always wanted her music on. She always had to watch movies with us to make sure that was some kind of bonding we can do with teenage kids, For a long time she collected fairies and she really loved Tinkerbell. When I was little, she used to work at a roller skating rink, and I remember she would do little tricks. She even had a dad, her biological dad, the one that my mom married first before my dad, wasn't there for her, and she still forgave him. Was one of the men that broke her heart. She still forgave him in the end. so she had a good heart. In some aspects, she was even a little more forgiving than I probably could ever be, but everyone's different. We are both Aquarius. Her birthstone was garnet, mine's amethyst. I just thought that's really weird that you have 2 out of the 3 kids be the same zodiac sign. Lauren's an Aries. She's born in April. But yeah, it's 1981, 1987, me, 1993. I still think about her all the time. I think about her like daily. I think of how whatever happened here wasn't right. That we were fortunate to be able to see her the way we were able to in hospice, even though they made an exception for us to have all of us visit and stuff. So Lehigh Valley Hospital, they were really nice for letting us do that. I even had my dog visit her a couple of times and he was away with her. It's a life-altering thing when you lose somebody like that. And just because you lose someone, it doesn't mean oh yeah, I've been there, done that. No, don't do that to somebody. It doesn't feel nice. Even if you don't know what to do or what to say, you can still offer to be there for somebody. I have this necklace that was of her ashes. I chose the moon inside it to be what I want. If you guys ever have someone and they want something done with their ashes, you can go to a site like Spirit Pieces. Jessie knew about Spirit Pieces already, so this is what we ended up doing because she recommended it. The chain I had was faulty, so I'm using a different one, but that's where her ashes are. I know I'm all over the place in this video, but I had to make something for this day and just to help myself feel better. I remember I told my dad the day that we found out we lost her. I was I feel bad for everybody. Because we all lost, they lost a daughter pretty much. My dad isn't her biological dad, but that was her father figure anyway. And the kids lost a mom, Jason lost a fiance, Lauren and I lost a sister, and my dad's I feel bad for you. Because you're her sister. You have the right to be upset too. I would really like to think that no matter what you believe in, if you believe in an afterlife or anything at all, that she's still here watching. And every time I see 444 in my head, I think, I really hope she's okay wherever she ended up. And they also say that around her time of death was around 440 to 444, which also I think is part of the reason why I see it all the time. Because if you look up 444, they say that's supposed to be someone watching over you. But her time of death was just a little too weird to me. But yeah. That's just pretty much where my mind's been for a while. It feels like you're okay, and then it's just part of your reality now. It almost feels like you're used to it. And then sometimes it's just I don't know about this yet. I'm still healing. It's very off and on. I'm okay, no, I'm sad. I'm okay, no, I'm sad. Still healing, still processing. It takes a different period of time for everybody. Okay, I'm gonna go. I need to relax. My throat hurts.